Today, I want to share with you 5 tips on how to maintain your shoes. Let me start by saying this. Gentlemen, it is important that you invest in a quality pair of shoes. Right? I'd rather you have one pair of shoes that's a quality pair than you have 5 pair that are cheap and poorly made. It is more important that you have the quality than the quantity. And so as you make this investment in a quality pair of shoes, maintenance is going to be critical, which brings me to tip number 1. One of the first things I do when I get a new pair of shoes, and that is invest in taps on those shoes. For those of you that aren't familiar with taps, taps are this rubber tip that goes here on the front tip of your shoe and here on the back tip by your heel. This is critically important if you want to cause those shoes to last a very long time. Let's be honest, as men, we can be rough on a pair of shoes. And if you're not careful, you'll look at a pair of shoes months later and the whole half of your heel is worn off. And that's because you didn't invest in a pair of taps. Taps are a rubber tip that's put on the heel and the front tip of your shoe, and it allows the person wearing the shoes to wear the taps out and not actually wear the sole of your shoe down. It is a small investment when you consider how much you've just spent on this quality pair of shoes. I mean, getting taps might run you anywhere from $15 to $20 a pair of shoes, which is peanuts when you spend $150, $200, $300, $400, some $500 on a pair of shoes. So make sure before you break open that box and throw those shoes on for the night on the town, make sure you go by a local cobbler and get tips added to your shoes. Now, tip number 2 is to invest in a pair of cedar shoe trees. Right? For those that aren't familiar with cedar shoe trees, it's a wood foot, right? And it really smells wonderful, right? It smells fresh and vibrant. And the reason why you invest in cedar shoe trees is that when you come home from a long day at work, you simply slide the shoe tree into your shoe. And it actually keeps the form of your shoe. And because it's cedar, it also absorbs sweat, right? Have you ever gone to put on a pair of shoes and you're like, whew, something stinks. And sometimes our feet perspire. Sometimes our feet can carry odor. But when you put in a cedar shoe tree, it helps to not only keep the shape of the shoe, but it also keeps your shoes smelling fresh. So make sure that you grab a pair of cedar shoe trees. Now, tip number 3. After you've come in from work or come in from an event and you've worn your shoes for the day, it's important that you put your shoes away properly, right? And so tip number 3 is making sure that you purchase shoe pouches or dusters, right? So before you get to the duster, when I take off my shoes, again, I mentioned in point number 2, to make sure that you invest in the cedar shoe trees, I wipe off my shoes, right? I'm not buffing them or polishing them, but I'm just wiping off the dust and debris from me walking in the city all day, right? Then I take the shoes and I put them in a duster, right? So if you've invested in a quality pair of shoes, these particular shoes happen to be Louis Vuitton, so they come with a duster. If you're purchasing shoes and they don't automatically come with a duster, no problem. You can go to Amazon or Target or Walmart or any store and purchase shoe shoe pouches or dusters. And what this does is it protects your shoe from the dust and debris of being in your closet. All right, guys. So now we're at tip number 4. And that is keeping your shoes polished and shined. So after you stored your shoes and put them away, now it's time to wear those shoes again. You want to make sure that you keep your shoes well polished. How do you do that? There are a number of ways. If you're doing something quick, Kiwi offers a really good shoe sponge, which gives you a nice luster on your shoes. If you're running out real quick and you don't have time for a full shine, wiping your shoes, wiping your heels with the shoe sponge is a perfect fix when you're in a rush, right? But when you have more time and you want to really keep your shoes shined, you can actually go to a local cobbler, a local a shoe repair shop where they will actually shine the shoes for you, right? That's cool. But then there are others that prefer to shine your shoes yourself. It's like, you know, some guys prefer to go to a car wash. Some guys prefer to wash their cars in their own driveway. It's totally up to you. But if you are going to shine your shoes, make sure that you grab a good cloth or a quality shoe brush, right? But most of all, that you invest in a quality shoe cream, a shoe cream, not that liquid stuff that you slap on your shoes. It will crack and peel over time. But Melatonin has a great shoe cream in a variety of colors that would match any pair of shoes that you have in your closet. And so you open it up, you scoop out some of the cream, you lavishly apply it on your shoes, and man, I mean, then you get to shining. Whether you're using a shoe brush, like I mentioned before, or whether you're using a cloth to shine your shoes, take your time. Remember, the details make the difference. And a lot is said about a man, not just in the quality of shoes that he purchases, but also in how he maintains them. That when you walk into a room, somebody can look down and see your shoes and say, wow, this gentleman really pays attention to details. So always keep your shoes shined. And now for our 5th and final tip and how to care for your shoes. That is investing in a shoehorn. And I know some of you guys are going to say, Doc, I don't need a shoehorn. I've been cramming my foot into my shoes as long as I've been buying shoes. Hey, listen, just because that might have been how you put your shoes on does not mean that's the best way to put your shoes on. If you are investing a significant amount of money in a pair of shoes, the last thing you want to do is to crush or to crease the back of your shoes by just simply cramming your foot into those shoes. A shoehorn is a small investment that will allow you to gracefully and easily slide your foot into that pair of dress shoes or even a pair of casual shoes without damaging the back of your shoes. Gentlemen, this is a small investment that will allow you to keep the shape of your shoe intact. This is another tip that would allow you to maintain the quality and integrity of the pair of shoes you invest in. I hope that today's tips on how to maintenance your shoes has added great value to your life. I am always here to help support you in elevating your life and your style. Hey, listen, if the content that you viewed today has benefited you, then feel free to share it with someone else that could stand to have the value added to them as well. And if you want to stay in tune with all of the videos that we share, please be sure to subscribe to this channel because we have weekly content that comes out that you will definitely benefit from. Until the next time, be well. Peace.